what will be the effects of ultra vires transaction? Number one, the transaction will become void. It is null and void, as we saw in the case of Ashbury, right? So this is become void. It cannot become intra vires just because you ratified it. Or next is members can get, members and shareholders mean the one and same thing, okay? Members means what? Shareholders. There is a small difference between members and shareholders, which I will teach you in the 5th chapter, okay? So see, problem with teaching company law is, I'll tell you something today to make you understand, but after a few classes, I will tell that itself there was a difference, right? See, members and shareholders are a little different, but now if I try to explain you, it will become too complicated. So right now, for your understanding what it means, members and shareholders are the same thing. Don't come back and tell me, ma'am, one question was there, that what is the difference between members and shareholders? You told it's the same thing. I know I told same thing for you to understand right now. Okay. So members means shareholders. Members can get an injunction to restrain the company where Ultra Vires Act has been or is about to be undertaken. Have you heard of this word injunction? It's like a stay order. Okay, so if the members or shareholders feel that the company is going to do something ultra vires, members can put an injunction on it. Means stop the company from moving further with that. Is that okay? Like if your parents discover you are having an affair with someone who's from another religion, they will try to put an injunction, right, so that it does not go further. Is that okay? I think yesterday, see, you people already know what is ratification very well. For the evening batch, I was explaining ratification. So what I told was, for ratification was, supposing you run away and get married to a boy as a love marriage. Now what do? You come back, right? And 99% what happens in today's time is, parents will accept you, put up a reception, and they will basically ratify your wrongdoing. All the people sitting there don't know, they will not. I don't know, okay, I told some other community in my example, they don't know, they will not. I don't know, okay, same community, they don't, maybe. So what happens by ratification, what I meant was that they will approve it. You have gone beyond and done something, but they will approve it ultimately, okay? But certain things cannot be ratified. So if you go and marry an inter-religion or something, most of the parents I know also will not be very happily ratifying it, okay? So next is your injunction, which is effect of ultra vires transaction. Then your third is what? Personal liability of directors. Now all of you know that companies lay liabilities limited. All of you know that. Every company has the name lastly what? Limited. Either limited, it's a public company, private limited, also limited word is there, right? So what is limited? Liability dana limited irke. Okay, for example, you have a company, in the company there has been some loss or something. Will they come and sell your house, your jewelry, your car to pay for the company? No. Company's assets is company's assets. My liability is only up to the share capital which I have put in the company. Yes or no? So this is what is limited liability. But when you do ultra vires transaction, idike effect enna irukke na, directors may get personal liability. What is personal liability? Your personal assets can be touched. Your family's personal assets can be touched. Family means your spouses, like that personal assets might be touched. So what is personal liability of directors? It is one of the duties of the director to ensure that corporate capital is used only for legitimate business of the company, and it should not be diverted to processes which is alien to company's memorandum. What do you mean by alien? Alien is not against. Correct. Outside, what is alien in normal terms? Who do you call alien? Someone who comes from outside earth only is alien, right? So something which you do which is outside memorandum is alien. Okay. So alien to memorandum. Memorandum it is mentioned this, but you are doing something which is not in memorandum, that is alien to memorandum. So if you do something alien to memorandum, who will be responsible for this? Directors will be personally liable to replace it. You can do underline this case law, Jehangir R. Modi versus Shamji Ladha. Shareholder can maintain an action against the director to compel them to restore of the company the funds of the company that may have been employed in transaction that they have no authority to enter into without making a company party of it. Deliberate misapplication, if you do not deliberate. One thing is, I was allowed to invest in commerce coaching business, but I invested the money in NEET coaching. That is what I did something alien to memorandum. Ippo ultra vires in the transaction. So enna pannu, any loss aayachina director ke personal liability irke. But if you do something which is deliberate misapplication, I know it very well that this is misapplication, I should use this money for company purpose, but I went on a holiday with that purpose. That is what? Deliberate misapplication. For this even criminal action can be taken. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you, whenever I underline or box or write anything, no, just copy it like that. Just underline and box it like that only in your study material. If you want to do something extra, it is up to you. But whatever I am underlining or putting a box or marking important, or if sometimes I will write a few words also in that, copy the same thing like that. A distinction must be drawn between transactions which is ultra vires the company and which is ultra vires the directors. This is very interesting point, okay. This star basically means important, okay. This type of star when I draw, no, it means important. And by important I mean, see, there are two types of important. Sometimes I will tell you important, and one important is questions can surely be asked from here. That is one type of important. One type of important is you should know this so that you are able to answer other questions. Okay. So this is important from question answer point of view also. Something ultra vires the company and something which is ultra vires the director. Difference. If directors exceed their authority, the same may be ratified by passing the resolution in general body meeting of the shareholders, if the company has the capacity to do that transaction according to MOA. Remember, I gave you that example of 5 crore and 1 crore loan. Yeah. If you borrow beyond 5 crores, it is ultra vires the company. But if the director borrowed beyond 1 crore, it is ultra vires the director. So if director has done something which is ultra vires the director, but intra vires the company, you can do a general meeting and shareholders can ratify it. Company secretary example also I gave you that. You went ahead and called general meeting, but general meeting is within the scope of authority of the company. So if the board of directors can ratify it, it is okay. But if the directors does something which is beyond the powers of, if the general body meeting le shareholders ratify it, it's okay. But it should definitely be within the powers of the company. Is that okay? If company has money has been used to acquire some property, that property will be valid, okay. It does not create relationship of creditor and debtor. This I have already explained. You can just underline it. Let's understand these 2 points. Torts. Have you heard of torts? CSCET or chapter law of torts. Yeah. Correct. So ultra vires torts. Company will not be liable for torts which is committed outside its object. Can you underline, box this word and over here? In the entire Companies Act, you have to be very careful of or and. It completely will change your answer. Okay. This is a very small word, or and, but do you understand that the entire conclusion will change of your answer? Because or enna irukena, in the randale or one also is satisfied, na, it is okay. but and enna rendu condition satisfy pannu. So your answer will change completely in a case study based question. So be very careful of or and. Always box or underline and write in your own handwriting and or. Okay. So and means what? In the rendu condition satisfy pannu. What is this two conditions which they have to satisfy? Say for example, company they are saying will not be liable for tort if anything is done outside its objects of the company. Now, two conditions has to be satisfied. My employee should be doing something which the objects of the company allows her to do, and second, it should be done in the course of her employment. Alright. Supposing you people pay the fees to Nisha. Okay. She is collecting fees, she is allowed in the objects of the company to collect fees. You are allowed to pay the fees to her, right? And she is doing this in the course of her employment. So both conditions should be satisfied. Now supposing Nisha leaves this company and goes tomorrow, and after 15 days if you pay the fees to her, company is not liable for it. Okay. If you pay the fees to my security guard, in my object it was not there that security guard's role is to collect fees. If you pay the fees to the security guard, I am not liable. I am not liable means if they run away with the money, then liability is not mine. Are you able to understand this part? So when will the company take liability for criminal action? When the employee is doing something which is within the objects of the company and he is doing it within his employment, course of his employment. So like company le, there is a manager, bank manager, correct? Bank manager is allowed to pass loans. Bank manager is allowed to pass loans of we go for loans to banks, right? Bank manager will authorize that loan, correct? So if bank manager authorizes the loan or it collects the deposits and it runs away with that, for example, it collects money and it runs away with that, or it gives the loan to fraud fake people of his own, for example. So in this cases, bank will be liable. Bank is liable because bank manager was doing the work which was within the objects of the company and it was done in the course of his employment. So who will be liable? We deposited money in PNB Bank and PNB Bank's manager ran away with that money. Who is liable? Bank is liable. No, so company will be liable if its employee is doing something within the objects of the memorandum and in the course of its employment. Then company is liable. But if the employee has done something which is outside the scope of the memorandum or he has done without being in the course of employment, then bank is not liable. Is this absolutely clear? So what is ultra vires torts? In order to make the company liable for the torts of its employees, it has to be proved that it was in the course of an activity in the purview of company's memorandum and it should be within the course of employment. Any doubt, Rikita? Any doubt? Sure. Next, ultra vires grants and guarantees. Directors cannot give unauthorized grant unless object is to promote prosperity or it is incidental to carrying out the objects of the company. Basically, grant means what? Basically donations, right? So if I want to give grant to anyone, it should be because it leads to prosperity for the company or it should be required for the objects of the company. Then only I can give grants. Otherwise, I cannot decide to give grants anywhere, wherever I want. Is that okay? Now come to this. Always remember, all your questions will come from, most of the questions of Companies Act comes from exceptions and exemptions, most of it, okay. So whenever I will teach you a section, no, I will teach you this is it, this is it, this is it, then I will tell you but this, then this is exempted, then this case is like exemption, exception. Are you able to understand? Exemption means, I have a relative who studies with you people, okay, and she is exempted from being regular in the class. It's her wish, whenever she comes, whenever she goes, exempted. So like there are a lot of sections in Companies Act where private companies are exempted. Exempted dana, don't have to follow, you are exempted. You are going to do CS executive straight, right? You are exempted from CSEET because you are a graduate. So you are exempted from CSEET. Exception is like, yes, you have to study, but sorry. No, that is expecting is different. I am talking of exception. Exception dana, this is how you have to do, but in this situation, no, it is exception. Alright, so for example, private company should have only 200 shareholders maximum, but if it is present in ex-employees, no, they are exempted, like they need not be included. So exception is basically in this cases, this will not be followed. Certain situations this will not be followed. So say for example, here we are going to deal about exceptions and not exemptions. Exemptions is, this is not there for them. Private companies exempted, small company exempted. Exception is what they told right now, any act which is ultra vires will be void. Then what they are saying, like for example, this portion we read, no, power of loans and borrowings and guarantees. We read this part, right? In this, what they are saying, there will be no debtor-creditor relationship if you have done something outside object. But again, when they are saying, but if you have given the money for discharging lawful expenses, no, then you may recover. That is what? It's an exception. So in certain situation, we will allow it to happen. You enter the exam hall, you are not exempted from writing the exam, right? You have to write the exam. But when you enter the exam hall and you say that you have come from the hospital, like you were not well, you have directly come from the hospital or something of that sort, na? For you there is an exception. You can enter the exam hall late and leave, will take 15 minutes extra. For you I have given an exception. Situation demanded for you to be an exception. You are not exempted from exam, but you are an exception. So what is exception? Number one, any act which is performed irregularly. What is irregularly? It is not done on a daily basis. Like for example, acquiring a business, granting loans, taking loans, all this is irregular things. So any act which you have done for that, but otherwise it is intra vires, it can be validated by whom? In general meeting. So something which is generally ultra vires, but if the shareholders can ratify something which is not done on a daily basis, some irregular thing, sometimes it happened, na, it can be ratified by the shareholders. Exception case. Next, if anything is within the authority of the company, they will not be considered as ultra vires even if not expressly stated in MOA. MOA, it is not expressly stated that I should hold this many meetings in a year, but it is mentioned in Companies Act. So if I do that, it is not like I am doing anything ultra vires. MOA le mentioned Pandya, but Companies Act le mentioned irke. Are you able to follow what I am saying? Companies Act is saying 4 meetings in a year. MOA did not say anything about meetings. So expressly mentioned illa MOA le. But if I do something which is mentioned in Companies Act, it's okay. It is not ultra vires. It's an exception case. Are you able to understand what I am saying? Any incidental effect of ultra vires will be invalid unless it is expressly prohibited. So basically, any effect which is incidental. What do you mean by incidental or consequential? Incidental is because of doing something, it incidentally happened. If you go out in the rain, incidentally you will get wet. If you go out in the rain in the umbrella also, incidentally your slippers might get dirty. That all is incidental. Consequential is as a result of that it will happen. If you do fasting for 9 days, 10 days, consequently you will feel weak. That is a consequence of something. Okay. So incidental and consequential. Incidental is in effect of something which has happened together. Consequent is consequence. Because of that, this consequence you will get. Yeah. So this effect, if it is ultra vires, if it is the effect of ultra vires act, no, then it will not be invalid until unless Companies Act expressly tells that it is not allowed. For example, you are allowed to do a coaching business. So for that, incidental effect is what? You will take fees, you will deposit fees, you will give the study material, you will conduct the test. This is all incidental and consequentials. If it is not prohibited by Companies Act, it is not invalid just because it is not mentioned in MOA. Are you able to understand this part? MOA mentioned to provide coaching services. They did not mention whether I should give recording, whether I should take test, whether I should give study material. All this is not mentioned. But is all this prohibited under Companies Act? No. Then it is exception to ultra vires. Maybe it is not mentioned in your memorandum, but it is an incidental effect, consequential effect. Act which is outside the authority of the directors but intra vires the company can be ratified by shareholders. This I think all of you would know this by now. Anything which is director cannot do but company can do, and if the director has done it, it can get it ratified by shareholders. Is this entire concept okay of doctrine of ultra vires? Okay. So this brings an end to the first class topics what I have. I'll be sharing with the course plan. My first class course plan was till here only. So we'll stop till here. Next class we'll be doing doctrine of indoor management. Example, relation of members in this. Directors are not aware. Exceptions. I told you, everywhere exceptions are important. So everywhere questions is mostly from exceptions. Exceptions of indoor management, then constructive notice, alter ego, corporate veil. You would have heard of this, no? Lifting of corporate veil, piercing of corporate veil. You've heard, right? So this all will be there. Lifting of corporate veil, piercing of corporate veil, all this we'll study. Till here we'll study in the next class, okay? Next class course plan is till here. Then third class we'll do all the definitions, applicabilities, all these definitions will be done in the third class. And then MCA and all the other things will be done in the, this all will happen in the third class only, definitions and all this MCA part. Then fourth class, any pending portion is in case left now. So I have always kept one class after every chapter which is for revision and question answers kind of thing. So in that class itself we will finish pending portion in case it is pending from any of the classes. So that is how we will be moving ahead. After chapter 1 we will move on to chapter 13.